Welcome back. This is Brother Jacob. As I promised, this is part 2 of Open Up the Grave, the Muslim challenge to open up the grave of Muhammad and Kenny Bomer, called red-handed lying. So this is part 2, and we're going to begin where we left off from part 1. So here we go.
Brother, you're the only one. What do you want? I would have been screwed. I would have been either way. I would have been wrong either way. If I just said Jacob, you would have said, "Well, why didn't you call me Brother Jacob?" Because that's what I didn't. Because the brother.
So let me show you something. He said that if I would have called him Jacob, I would have said, "Well, why you didn't call me Brother Jacob?" And as we showed you in part 1, when this guy, the old man named Sanford Paz that you see in the upper right-hand corner, well, he asked me, should I call you Brother Jacob? He said that from the start. So why he is getting all hysterical is beyond me. He asked me a question. I told him that I wasn't his brother. So he shouldn't call me that. So I don't know why he got all hysterical. Then he said something about if I would have said, if he would have said Jacob, then I would have said such and such. But let's continue.
I'm trying to be polite. Can we get if we can get past the introductions at least? What do you want me to call you? Anything?
You can call me Jacob.
Jacob, okay.
The Jacob part is Christian.
Jacob, call me Abu Mujahid, which means father of the warrior of truth, okay? Or you can call me Sanford, which is my name, my real name, my given name, my birth name, Sanford, okay? I was born into a Jewish family, Jacob, and when I was a young man, a young adult, I had an experience and I became a Christian. And the message in the experience, the epiphany I got was, don't pay any attention to the groups and the churches, follow the red letters and just try to stay on the straight path. So I did that. And I had this really strong experience when it happened. I mean, I felt it was like, you've had sacred experiences, so I'm not going to try to, you understand, it was a sacred experience. Fast forward to the age of 60, I had another experience and with the same energy was present, the same sacredness. And it was revealed to me that Muhammad is the last prophet and that it is written in the Torah and the gospel, and I can point where and explain it. And I became Muslim because of that. And I searched for truth all my life. Kennedy was shot when I was 14, traumatized the whole world.
Why are you telling me this? Are you trying to convince me to be a Muslim? Let's talk about subject.
I'm trying to convert you to anything.
Self-destruct sequence. As you see, this man, I've never spoken to him in my life. You know, he was just riding off of the energy of the Abu Huraira dude and Kenny. This guy has never engaged with me before on this panel. He was just piggyback riding off of the way Kenny feels about me and the way Abu Huraira feels about me. Because I busted them in the nose scholastically every time I come up on their channel. So he was just, because he is a Muslim, of course he's going to team up with them. So don't call me brother. You are the brother to Kenny and Abu Huraira. So don't try that stuff with me. I hate fakeness. That's one thing about me. I like to keep it real. Don't be fake with me. Okay? So he went on his tangent, as you saw, telling me his history about entering Islam and he had some sacred experience. I don't care to hear all of that, man.
Initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
Excuse me. I'm not trying to do anything to you. Are you paranoid?
So don't tell me your background about entering Islam. I can carry.
Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
Against our religion to try to convert people. We get
And the reason why I told him that, why are you telling me this? Because as you see, I don't even know what subject or topic. He was all off topic, what he was talking about. He's an old man telling me his life history. I don't care about your background and all of that. You do that stuff for one of them other panel members who Kenny Bomer brings on the panel, and they naive and they dumb and they don't know anything about Islam, and Kenny can talk to them any kind of way and tell all those lies because those people, they have never studied the hadith and they don't know all of the contradictions in the Quran. I have a channel where I dedicate myself to research and study of Islam. So don't come at me with all of that little shenanigans and stuff. Save that for one of them. Like today, they had some woman from Turkey. Like, save that for her. You know, don't try to convince me about Islam. There's nothing you can convince me to accept a religion that promotes pedophilia and that it's okay to marry a 6-year-old girl and it's okay for grown men to have sex with little infant babies. And yes, and I'm going to do a video on that. And I have the information where they can actually have sex with a little infant. So don't come at me with all of that, you know?
punished if we try to close anybody. That's Allah's domain. That's God's domain. Only God can change a heart. Our duty is the same duty that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, gave to you, which is you go somewhere, you say, Shalom Aleichem, peace be with you. You give the gospel, which is not somebody died for your sins and bled, and he's God now. The gospel is there is no deity but the one God, and Jesus was his messenger. And that ways, and someone's coming after him to wrap it all up. The whole story got bent out of shape.
I don't know who is teaching this man, but the gospel is the good news, and the good news is that Jesus is the Son of God and he died for our sins. So what he talking about, these people are just stupid, man. I hate to say it, but you want to be respectful sometimes, but even Jesus or who was it? John the Baptist called them a generation of vipers. It get to a point where when you're dealing with a demonic spirit, you just got to call it what it is. These people are stupid, man. Demonic and stupid and demonically possessed.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
You don't eat pork, by the way.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Can I ask you a question? Now, in our religion, we believe that Jesus died and he was resurrected from the grave.
Now, this is where the heat is about to turn up. This is where the heat is about to turn up, people. We about to get into the title of the video about opening up the grave of Muhammad. This is the new Muslim challenge that Christians need to start pushing, and I will explain, but here we go.
Okay.
In Islam, your prophet, and earlier Kenny was saying, because I like to stay on point, I don't want to be just bouncing all around. I was listening to the show while I was driving before I called in. Earlier, Kenny said that on Judgment Day, he said that Allah said every living being would turn to dust, and that on Judgment Day, they would be resurrected and they will be judged. But your prophet said that the grave does not consume the bodies of the prophets. So I want to ask you, Sanford, in my religion, our God resurrected from the grave. But according to your prophet, he's supposed to be not decomposed.
So you're not dying.
Wait a minute.
He's supposed to be. So my question is, Sanford, do you have faith enough in your prophet that you would get a group of Muslims to sign a petition to get the government of Saudi Arabia to crack open the grave of Muhammad so we can see if he is decomposed or not?
Idiots.
You see, y'all knew it was coming. When the real bombs start dropping, and did you notice Kenny Bomer, when he heard me getting into it, didn't you see him scoot up to the front of his chair? That's because he was anticipating something. He was getting ready to press the button. Kenny Bomer, see, the devil even knows the truth when he hears it. The devil motivated Kenny Bomer to scoot up in his chair because the devil was speaking to him and saying, Kenny, you better press that little emoticon, that little thing, Kenny, you better press it because he about to say some truth. You can't let it get out, Kenny. You know, Brother Jacob, you better mute him, Kenny. That's what the devil was telling him. And that's why Kenny, you see, he got his hand on his mouth because he's thinking. He's saying, Brother Jacob is really making some good points right here. That does make a lot of sense because our prophet did say that the earth does not consume the bodies of the prophets. So this guy is actually making a good point here. But I can't let him know that. And I can't let the audience know that. So what I got to do, I got to put this little sign thing up with a little frowny face because I got to make mockery of what he's saying. So my Muslim listeners won't take this man serious. But what Kenny doesn't know is that even the Muslims are listening to this and he thinks that everybody is dumb. Everybody is not dumb and sleep. And some Muslims will actually leave Islam because a lot of Muslims, they are leaving Islam because they are finding out that none of this stuff is adding up and it's not making any sense.
What Kenny don't want me to talk about that. He don't want me to talk about that. I'm asking you a question.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
I'm asking you a question.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest.
You see Kenny trying out his new toys like a kid. He's a big kid, man. He's a kid.
Exit.
That's really creepy, man. That is really creepy.
It's creepy because you know his body is decomposed and it's probably not even in there. If it was, why
Listen, Devin. Hold on one second.
Because
Devin.
and you know there's nothing in there.
Hold on 1 second, Devin.
You hear what I told him? The guy, to try to divert, he couldn't. The guy with the little devils, the dude in the middle, the old man, he's on his last leg. He's about 99 years old, 9,900 years old. He got his hand on his chin. He got a little devilish smile. He was like, that's creepy. You know why he said it's creepy? Because, again, he's a Muslim. He didn't have anything else to say. This guy, he comes on the show acting like he's all wise and stuff. He's lived during the Kennedy era. He was talking about he was alive when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. He took all of these LSD drugs when he was in college and everything. If he can understand all of this, you mean to tell me he can't understand my logic about Islam? And if Muhammad is a real prophet, then let's test it and try it out. Let's open up the grave. Okay? So what's invalid about that? If somebody, like the pyramids in Egypt, right? Now, what if the archaeologists were telling us that they discovered mummies, ancient Egyptian kings and queens in Egypt, like the Great Pyramids of Giza? The public would ask to show the evidence. And that's exactly what the archaeologists do. So you can go to museums today and you can see the evidence. You can see the mummies. You can see the artifacts. So what's so illogical about asking them to show and prove? Show us if Muhammad is real or not. He said the bodies of the prophets do not decay. And these Muslims, they claim to have the body of Adam. They got this big, long grave somewhere over there in the Middle East where they claim that it's the body of Adam inside of that grave. So if that's the case, show us. All of these prophets y'all claim y'all got in these graves, show us. You know why they can't do it? Because nothing is in those graves. It's a hoax. They don't even have a body of Muhammad. It's a hoax.
Devin, let me.
If we had a body, we
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. Hold on 1 second.
I got a talking
I'm not going to do.
Let me know when it's my turn.
Hold on, Stanford. Let me tell you what I'm
can
not
end
going
on
to do.
right now.
Let me tell you what I'm not going to do.
I wouldn't
He
have
said
let
the
it play on.
not.
This is your last warning.
You hear what I told him? Did y'all hear when I said it? I said, we can end all of this right now. I said, just crack the grave open. They claim to have all of these graves, and I'm gonna show y'all some evidence. They got this huge graveyard where they claim to have over 70,000 prophets buried under this grave. They say they got about 70,000, and I'm gonna show y'all that evidence. So what I'm asking them, they always debating with Christians and talking about what we don't see. If the shoe was on the other foot, and if we said something like we have the body of Jesus, let's just say that was in our religion, like we have the body of Jesus. You know good and well, those Muslims, they will be asking the same question like I'm asking. Well, show us then. Show us the body of Jesus. But when I do it, you see what happens.
He said the grave.
This is your last warning.
He did not show his
Hold on,
face.
let me speak.
You let him in.
Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do, Devin. I'm not gonna try to talk over you on my own show. I'm not gonna do that. And nor am I gonna have my Muslim brothers having to try to talk over you on this show. They're co-hosts in this show. They're regular panelists on the show. I'm not gonna allow you to disrespect anyone on the show. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So let me address this hadith just momentarily. Okay, so one, Devin, I did not say everyone, including the prophets, are going to turn to dust.
You hear that? He's lying, and we're going to show. We already showed you in part 1. He said literally everybody. This guy is a liar. He is a liar, and his father is the father of lies, the devil. This guy's a liar.
I'm talking to other human beings. Obviously, I'm not talking to any of the prophets. The prophets aren't.
Every living being.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
I just told you that I'm not going to talk over you. So when I'm speaking, you stay silent while I'm speaking respectfully, okay?
Go ahead, Kenny.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate your showing.
This is what you said.
Hold on now. No, listen.
You said every living being turned to dust. That's exactly what you said.
I said every living being. Every living being.
You did say it. It's recorded, man. Why you lying? You did say it. You lying.
This is your last warning. Listen.
Let's crucify him, Jacob. Let's crucify
Shut your
him.
mouth. You haven't let me finish talking yet.
Maybe.
You haven't let me finish talking yet.
You're a Christian. You're supposed to forgive people. What's the matter with you? You're making a mountain out of a. You're straining at gnats and you got camel hair in your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you stick to the main subject? What are you looking for trouble? That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're looking for trouble. You're not even showing your face. If I was in charge of this place,
Now he's throwing a hissy fit because he know I'm getting Kenny busted. You see? Now he's going on a tangent talking about I'm getting off subject when he was the one getting off subject, telling me about his entry into Islam and how he got. I don't want to hear all that. I didn't come on that panel for that. They know when I come to that panel that I'm coming to bring facts. If Kenny wasn't prepared for it, he shouldn't have let me on the panel. He already know when Brother Jacob comes into the room that he is disrupting everything. He's smashing all of the lies. And as you see, I was not over talking anybody. I was not disrespecting anybody. So
you wouldn't even gotten the door. You're a terrorist. I don't only see your chin. You're an online terrorist. That's what you are. And you're an ego tripper riding on the hem of Jesus's robe. You ain't no Christian. A Christian would show his face. I know you know what, like Lloyd Benson said, I know Christians. There's a lot of Christians who are friends of mine.
Yeah.
And
So what do you actually do? He likes to take.
he called me a terrorist. He called me a terrorist, and he said that he has a lot of Christian friends. So this guy has just left Islam. Thank you, dummy. You just exposed yourself because your Quran says do not take Christians and Jews as friends. That's why the Bible say they are snared by the words of their mouth. You just hung yourself, dummy. He just exposed himself. He just left Islam live on the Christian Bomer, on the Kenny Bomer channel. Kenny Cupcake Bomer. Homer Simpson. He looked just like Homer Simpson. You just left Islam.
You're not acting like a Christian.
Yeah, he likes to take things out of context so he can go make his little videos and use my name.
He said, I'm not acting like a Christian. Here's the thing. When a Muslim tells you that, this is what you need to tell them. When they say you are not acting like a Christian, basically, they're trying to say you're not acting humble or quiet and being subservient. You're not being like a good person. But if they are trying to convey that message when they say you're not acting like a Christian, basically they're telling you that you can be a good person without being a Muslim. Because if I'm not acting like a Christian because he thinks I'm acting hostile because I'm getting Islam busted, then by him saying I'm not acting like a Christian, and if they say that Islam is the religion of peace, if he say that acting like a Christian means being peaceful because he thinks I'm not being peaceful because I'm just explaining myself, then he is admitting that you don't need Islam to be peaceful. So if that's the case, Christianity is the religion of peace. You see, I got him busted again. Because if I'm not acting like a Christian because I'm making my points and you think I'm not being peaceful and you saying you know Christians, in your mind a Christian is peaceful, then what's the purpose for Islam then? If we already got the religion of peace, I'm peaceful, and you said you got Christian friends who are peaceful without being Muslims, but you say Islam is the religion of peace, what do we need Islam for? You just got yourself busted. And also, you are contradicting your Quran. Because if you're saying, I'm not acting like a Christian, and that's to say that Christians are peaceful and whatnot, and well-behaved and whatnot, then why does your Quran say that Christians are the worst of creatures and that we are najas and filth? So you should be going along with your Quran. So, and if you see me acting like hostile or whatever, you should say this agrees with the Quran, because the Quran says that we are the worst of creatures, we are najas, we are filth. So if you think I'm acting that way, then why would you say I'm not acting like a Christian? Got him busted again.
He needs my name in order to succeed. So I actually dwell within his mind on a daily basis. For those who don't know that, he makes videos about me quite frequently. Alhamdulillah, all you're doing is you're helping to publicize the platform. So thank you. I appreciate that. But in regards to that hadith, let's clarify, okay? So this hadith is something that
I just had this.
When it boils down.
And by the way, let's show you where Kenny lied again. I promise you all that. Let me show you. Let's show you where he lied again. You heard him when he said he didn't say it. He said every living being would turn to dust. And now he's trying to change it up because the hadith said that the earth does not consume the bodies of the prophets. So that means that every living being did not turn to dust, like the Quran says. So he just got his prophet busted, and he proves that Islam is a false religion. Because if Muhammad goes against the Quran, then he is saying that Allah is a lie and Muhammad is a false prophet. If Muhammad is saying one thing and the Quran is saying something else, like we about to play, listen to what Kenny say.
Everything's dust. So either way you look at it, dust is on the way. Allah says in the day of judgment, literally every living thing will be turned to dust. And then there will be a day of resurrection where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise all of us. He's going to raise the prophets. He's going to raise everyone up. And we'll stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And
you heard him. He said literally every living thing would turn to dust. And then you heard him lie and say he didn't say it. Let me play it one more time. He said every living thing.
And then there will be a day of resurrection where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise all of us. He's going to raise the prophets. He's going to raise everyone up. And we'll stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we'll be you.
So Kenny, you didn't say every living thing. And did your prophet not say that the grave does not consume the bodies of the prophets? And as a matter of fact, we about to show you, liar. We about to show you. We don't play around. We about to show you, liar. Let's show this liar. This is a clown, man. Which one y'all want to read? It don't matter. It's a couple versions. Let's just read the first one. Let's read it. The messenger of Allah said, among the best of your days is Friday, so supplicate Allah more often for me in it, for your supplications will be displayed to me. He was asked, O messenger, and this hadith actually explains the Muslims are praying to Muhammad because they are praying to him. And then they was like, how can we do this and you're going to be dead? Because look, the messenger of Allah said, among the best of your days is Friday. So supplicate Allah more often for me in it. For your supplications will be displayed to me. This is probably a false translation. It really says they are praying to him. It's a couple variations to this very hadith. He was asked, O messenger of Allah, how will our blessings be displayed to you when your decayed body will have mixed with the earth? He replied, Allah has prohibited the earth from consuming the bodies of the prophets. And what did Kenny say? What did Kenny say? He said that the Quran says that the earth will consume every body that dies, literally everybody. So Kenny got himself busted. They try to make it say invoke blessings, but I'm trying to find the one that says salah, which is the word for prayer. But either way, I'll post. But as you saw, now let's just play what Kenny said. I just showed you that Muhammad said the earth does not consume the bodies of the prophets. Now let's hear what Kenny said. He gets himself busted. Listen.
Everything's dust. So either way you look at it, dust is on the way. Allah says in the day of judgment, literally every living thing will be turned to dust. And then there will be a day of resurrection where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise all of us. He's going to raise the prophets. He's going to raise everyone up. And we'll stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we'll be judged on how we lived this life and how we.
So what you say again, Kenny? You said you didn't say it. What you say again, Kenny? What you say again? Let's go back to your lie that you told. What you say, Kenny? You didn't say that. What did your prophet say? That the earth does not consume the bodies of the prophets. What did you say the Quran said? That literally, every living being, the earth will consume their bodies. What did your prophet say? That the bodies of prophets the earth does not consume the body of the prophets. So is Muhammad a false prophet, Kenny? If the Quran says one thing and he says something else that contradicts the Quran, how is he a prophet and he's going against the Quran? Busted. Busted. And I'm not trying to keep you all too long. I'm trying to, because it don't take long to get them busted, man. I just want to play this lie that he said again, and we'll move forward from that.
Including the prophets are going to turn to dust. I'm talking to other human beings. Obviously, I'm not talking to any of the prophets. The prophets aren't.
Every living being.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
I just told you that I'm not going to talk.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
I just told you that I'm not going to talk over you. So when I'm speaking, so let me address this hadith just momentarily, okay? So one, Devin, I did not say everyone, including the prophets, are going to turn to dust. I'm talking to other human beings. Obviously, I'm not talking to any of the prophets. The prophets aren't.
You hear what he said? He said, I did not say everyone, including the prophets, will turn to dust. You liar. We played what you said. You said literally every living being. So you are talking about the prophets. The prophets are living beings. You said literally every living being. It's over with, Kenny. It's over. And all of your Muslim followers, they're going to see this. And they're going to question this. This is a clear contradiction. And all of the people that subscribe to my channel, they're going to see this. This is a clear contradiction. Your prophet said one thing and the Quran says something else. That's a contradiction. There's no way around that.
Every living being.
Warning. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Please go to the nearest exit.
I just told you that I'm not going to talk over you. So when I'm speaking, you stay silent while I'm speaking respectfully, okay?
Go ahead, Kenny.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate your showing.
This recorded what you said.
Hold on now. But listen.
You said every living being turned to dust. That's exactly what you said.
I said every living being. Every
You
living
did.
being.
You did say it. It's recorded, man. Why you lying? You did say it. You lying.
This is your last warning.
Listen.
Let's crucify him, Jacob. Let's
Shut
crucify
your
him.
mouth. You haven't let me finish talking yet.
Maybe.
You haven't let me finish talking yet.
You're a Christian. You're supposed to forgive people. What's the matter with you? You're making a mountain out of a. You're straining at gnats and you got camel hair in your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you stick to the main subject? What are you looking for trouble? That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're looking for trouble. You're not even showing your face. If I was in charge of this place, you wouldn't even gotten the door. You're a terrorist. I don't only see your chin. You're an online terrorist. That's what you are. And you're an ego tripper riding on the hem of Jesus's robe. You ain't no Christian. A Christian would show his face. I know you know what, like Lloyd Benson said, I know Christians. There's a lot of Christians who are friends of mine.
Yeah.
And
So what do he likes to do? He likes to take.
You're not acting like a Christian.
Yeah. He likes to take things out of context so he can go make his little videos and use my name.
He said, I like to take things out of context. This is a challenge to the Muslims who are listening. I want you to put in the comment section below the video, I want you to put what I took out of context. He said, Kenny Bomer lying. He's lying again. He said, I took something out of context. I want somebody to show me what I took out of context. If Muhammad said that the earth does not consume the body of the prophets, and if Kenny said that every living being, literally, he said literally every, you know what the word every mean? That means without an exception. So if every living being body is going to return to dust and be lifted up on resurrection day and judged, like the Quran says, then how am I taking something out of context when I showed you a clear contradiction? If this was the court of law, the judge would have been let the hammer down and said, Kenny Bomer, you're guilty for lying. We sentenced you to life in prison in a room full of cupcakes. Kenny Cupcake Bomer.
He needs my name in order to succeed. So I actually dwell within his mind on a daily basis. For those who don't know that, he makes videos about me quite frequently.
Now he's doing just a bunch of filler talk, just filler talk. He don't got nothing to say. He has nothing else to say. He's doing a little filler talk, cooler talk, fluff talk, cotton candy talk, nothing of substance, just saying stuff. He's embarrassed already. It's already done. He don't even really got nothing to say at this point. He's just talking now.
Alhamdulillah. All you're doing is you're helping.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah about what? Because you got busted? Alhamdulillah. Nothing to say, man. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah because you got busted. All praise due to Allah because you got busted. And because I proved that Muhammad contradicted the Quran and that makes him a false prophet, and you're going to say, oh, alhamdulillah? Please. This guy knows Islam is a fraud, man. He knows it's not real. How can someone hear exactly what I said, show the evidence, and still sit there as if what I said was not true? You know why? Because he is purposely doing it. There's no way a human being can be that stupid.
To publicize the platform. So thank you. I appreciate that. But in regards to that hadith, let's clarify, okay? So this hadith is something that
I just had this.
When it boils down to it, the fact of the matter is every human being is going to be turned to dust. If there's a hadith that says otherwise, that's my failure. That's my mistake.
If it's a hadith that says otherwise, that proves that it's a contradiction. It's not your failure or your mistake. You just proved to everybody that your prophet, he lied because the Quran says one thing and he said something else. It's not your mistake. It's your prophet's mistake. So what are you saying? Just because you never heard of that hadith or whatever, that makes you right? No, you're missing the point. No, you're not missing the point. You're trying to play stupid. He knows exactly what I was saying, and he knows exactly that I was 100% correct. Just like that Abu Hurairah fool knows that I'm 100% correct. Just like that Sanford Pass fool knows that I was 100% correct.
No problem with that. If there's a hadith that I'm unaware of that says that the bodies of the prophets, actually, I've actually heard this hadith before. I just forgot about this hadith. But nevertheless, if there's a hadith that says that the bodies of the prophets will remain intact, I have no problem with that. I have no problem being wrong about that. So why are you looking for?
You don't have a problem being wrong about that? So you don't see a problem with your prophet being wrong about the fact that the Quran says one thing and he is saying something else? So you don't have a problem. You said you don't have a problem being wrong about that. But what about, do you have a problem about your prophet saying something that contradicts the Quran? You don't have a problem with that? You don't see anything wrong with that? That a prophet that you claim is contradicting the Quran? You don't see anything wrong with that? Then what do you have a show for? What are you telling Christians that we have something wrong when you sitting up there following a prophet who is contradicting the Quran, which proves he is a false prophet? So what is this consider Islam about if I'm showing you that there are inconsistencies and contradictions? So what is your point, Kenny? What are you trying to tell us?
Something to make a video about? I have no problem being wrong about that. I don't know everything in the world, Devin. I don't know everything in the world. I make mistakes.
Well, we know that. You don't even have to tell us that. We know you don't know a whole lot of stuff in the world. I mean, you probably don't even know 0.1% of what's in the world. I mean, you follow Islam, so we know that you are stupid. So you don't have to explain to us how stupid you are.
I pray that any mistakes that I make, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives me for those. Any mistakes that we make on this platform are our own mistakes. Any amount of good that comes is from our.
So he said that any mistake that he makes, he prayed that Allah forgives him. So what about Muhammad? Did he make a mistake? Did he pray that Allah forgive him for quoting something that goes against the Quran? So what about your prophet? You just got your prophet busted again. Because if you're saying that you made a mistake and you don't have no problem praying to Allah to forgive you, then you just got your prophet busted. Because did your prophet ask Allah to forgive him for the contradiction that he made? Allah, did he do it? Did he ask for forgiveness for making a contradiction? Think about that. I know that's hard for you to do. You probably never used your brain to think before in your life, but think about that.
Creator and our Creator alone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I have no problem with you. You want to make a bunch of videos saying that Kenny Bomer made a mistake about a hadith? Go ahead. What it boils down to is you're going to be talking about a hadith.
No, I'm not making a video about you making a mistake. I'm making a video about you proving that your prophet contradicted the Quran. Let's get it straight. It's not about a mistake. Don't try to make light of it. Everybody that's watching this right now, we all see it.
That wasn't on my mind. I don't remember. There's thousands of hadith. I can't remember every single hadith out there. Okay? And so if there's a hadith that says that the bodies of the prophets will be preserved, alhamdulillah. That's the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that, and I'm not going to dispute that. I have no problem with that. Yeah. But every other human being I was talking to the audience of Consider This TV and trying to convey to them that every human being is going to perish, and we're all going to turn to dust. We're all going to be resurrected on the day of judgment. And I'm trying to tell people and to encourage them to utilize their time wisely. And what you've done, you said you were listening in your car. Surely if you were listening, you would have seen that we were talking about something. We're trying to be positive on the show. And then you come with this filth and ugliness that's within you, a cesspool of nonsense, and come to the show in order to do what?
You see that? All of that stuff he doing is like throwing slander and all of that. See, this is for like the Muslims because he's already been defeated. So any Muslim that's going to watch this, they already done seen the damage that was done. So all of this slander and you come on here to talk filth and this and that's to make the Muslims that are watching feel like Kenny is still in, command. That's what he's trying to put out. It's nothing but a trick. That's how Islam. See, Muslims are taught not to ask questions. So to keep them in shackles and in blindfolds, this is what they are. This is what the imams and things do. They just throw slander at anyone, and that's why they came up with that word Islamophobe. It's just a tactic to screen Muslims from listening to people like myself and people like Christian Prince. So when they say the word Islamophobe, the Muslim will instantly say, "Oh, well, you're just an Islamophobe, so we don't want to hear nothing you say because look at Kenny Bomer. He's just calling you all of these names." So Kenny Bomer, he does all of that. So, and he goes on these long 10-minute tangents and he'll put you on mute for 10 minutes. And notice he didn't refute anything I said. He didn't refute anything about when I said open up the grave. He didn't refute the fact that his prophet said one thing, but the Quran says another thing. So what he has to do, he has to put up a light show of theatrics to make the listener forget about all that I said so they'll start focusing on his slander and his rhetoric. That's all he's doing. Easy to figure out that strategy.
Find content to make another video? Make 5 videos tonight. I don't care.
Kenny?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You're supposed to be. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is long suffering.
Yeah.
Love isn't rude. Love isn't unseemly. I mean, why don't you practice what you preach, brother? I mean, why don't you practice what you preach, Jacob? Why don't you practice your religion and don't come here and terrorize us with your verbal violence? Practice Jesus when he sent people out.
He said verbal violence. I should have titled this video Verbal Violence. Boy, this was fun. This was so fun. This was so fun. Verbal violence.
He said, you go somewhere, you give your story. If they don't like it, you go away. You don't bang heads with them.
That's right.
He said, keep going. You're not following Jesus. You're following Paul or somebody else. If you were following Jesus, you'd probably be a Muslim by now, because that's what he was pointing at.
That's right.
We disagree on what the Torah and the Gospel say, because we know that the Torah and the Gospel were messed with. We know it. And
You know,
the Torah was not.
And we're talking about the importance of time, and I sincerely tried to give you the opportunity to utilize your time that you have. You don't even know if you're going to take another breath. You don't know if you're going to make it through the night. What if this is the last thing that you do with your life, Jacob?
Good
I have
question.
a question.
Hold on 1 second. What if this is the last thing you've done? Hold on. What if this is the last thing that you achieve? Is this something you're going to be happy about on the day of judgment? Obviously not. You know, so we're talking to you from a standpoint, trying to encourage people, talking to the audience, trying to encourage people to utilize their time wisely in the best of manners, to guide one another to truth and being patient. And in the course of it, I've been trying to be patient with you and trying to demonstrate that through the course of this show, trying to guide you to the truth and trying to be patient with you in the process. But you got me and Shabir Ali categorized as a couple of clowns with a circus.
Excuse me?
Okay. And for what? Because we believe differently than you do? That's fine. I don't care. I don't hate you because you believe something different. I don't hate you at all.
He's just talking now. Let me fast forward to him. He ain't saying nothing now. Let me fast forward because I don't want to keep this too long. You know, I don't want to bore you. You know.
Our titles. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Not the last one, the previous one is titled. Now look at the ridiculous title. Two Muslim clowns, Shabir Ali and Kenny Cupcake Bomer, both admit they are wretched. And the last video, even more offensive, Kenny Cupcake Bomer leaves Islam, admits Allah is a liar, and Shabir Ali confirms. Where do you get this? Where do you get this stupidity from? Could you please?
I leave Islam. I'm sitting here talking.
For those who don't know, the Abu Huraira, he was talking about my last two videos before this series about two Muslim clowns when Shabir Ali came up on the show. If you haven't seen those videos, go watch them. He was talking about the one where it was titled where Shabir Ali he refutes Kenny Bomer. Kenny Bomer invited him to his panel, and the one about Kenny Bomer being wretched, that's because I don't want to rehash that video. Go watch those videos and you'll see why they are titled that way, because not only in this video did Kenny Bomer make a mistake, but in those videos he made fatal mistakes as well. So that's what this guy at the top is talking about. Like, he's so upset because I titled the videos Two Muslim Clowns, because that's exactly what they are. I mean, the Bible say speak the truth, so they are clowns. So
this is why I was upset.
Alhamdulillah.
And
so he's upset because I called Kenny a clown, but he's not upset with Allah calling Jews pigs, calling Christians najas, calling us the worst of creatures, calling us kafirs. He's not upset with that. Hypocrite. You are a hypocrite.
Subhanallah. I have all my Bibles. I have markers on them. And the verse that I wanted to quote to him, I wanted to ask.
He's not upset with Muhammad saying that if you are proud about your heritage, to go bite the penis of your father. You want to talk about filth coming from someone's mouth? What about that? Muhammad saying, go bite the penis of your father. Hypocrite.
Him. My marker was exactly on the page. Exactly on the page. Matthew, and here's the challenge to him. Supposing that he calls us evil.
So he was about to hold up. Let's go to
Supposed to be afraid about.
May I please?
Brother Kenny, he even said that God died. He mentioned it. Bro, God died? Astaghfirullah al-Azim.
He's
Garbage.
You're fixing to get the boot. I assure you.
I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sanford.
Jacob, I would like you to, if he's gonna I'll talk and he'll listen, and he'll talk and I'll listen. I'd be happy if you opened his mic, if he observes the etiquette, the manners that we're trying, the common manners, nothing special. Just that that I talk, he listens, he talks, I listen. I would be happy, but there's something I want to say first, because I initiated this, and there's something I wanted to say. So I'll say what I want to say, then you can open his mic if you would, and then he can respond. Then he can't interrupt me then. And I'll just say what I have to say and then open his mic, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right, Jacob, are you there? I can't see you. I can't even tell if he's walking around. Okay, Jacob, I'm going to say something to you, Jacob. Are you listening? Are you there? Put up your thumb or something. Can you hear me? You hear me? He said, yeah? You hear me? I'm doing just so I know he hears me, or you know he hears me. I just want to make sure. All right, Jacob.
I hear you. Yes.
Okay, what I have to say is the following, Jacob. I got a little intense there because I was knee-jerking to the situation, which wasn't wrong, but it's like Peter instead of the impulsive. I just had to back that up. What you came at Kenny with is what you're doing, whether you see it or not. You are suspicious of Islam. You are suspicious of everyone. You think we're the devil. You think we're the enemy, and you're not spreading the gospel. You're the Islamophobe Jesus police, which nobody set up in the Bible. You set that up, and I'm saying that you are doing what you're accusing him of doing. You are suspicious. You are the one that's being suspicious. You came here with suspicion. What are you talking about, man? You came here suspicious. You came here to disrupt. Believe it or not, I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth.
our Bible, our Father and God, Jesus, didn't tell us we couldn't be suspicious. It didn't tell us we couldn't be inquisitive. So that don't work for me. That's what your prophet said.
We want you to make it to paradise, and we know you're not making it there yet. We know it. You think you are. You believe a false doctrine.
You don't even know if you are going to paradise, because in Islam, they don't even know where they will spend eternity. There's a hadith that says that when a Muslim dies, everything in their life is decreed. So when they die, it's all up to Allah. There's a hadith that says that even if they live the life of a perfect Muslim, and then they get to the gates to paradise, then what is written for their life, their destiny, it takes over. And if it was written for them to go to the hellfire, then they will go to the hellfire. And even if they live an imperfect life, the life of a sinner, and when they get to the gate of paradise, if what is written was for them to make it into paradise, then it will overtake them and they will go into paradise, whether they live the life of a Muslim or not. So no Muslim is sure about his salvation. Their whole entire religion is hanging on a question mark, like a picture on the wall. No surety about their salvation. This is really sad. Muhammad didn't even know where he would go in the afterlife. In the Quran, that's why they use the word may. May Allah bless you. That's what the Muslims say because they're not sure. They have to say may. May is a possibility. They don't know about their salvation. They don't know anything. Islam is a question mark religion.
Somehow you got muted, Sanford. Sanford, unmute yourself.
You're on mute. Sanford, you're on mute.
Yeah,
Unmute yourself.
It went mute. You just muted somehow out of the blue.
And I want you to watch something. When he started talking about our Lord and Savior, his microphone went mute. Who does that remind you of? Remember Ahmad Deedat? He was in a debate with a Christian and he challenged Jesus. And he said that whoever was lying on that stage, he said, may God take their voice away from them. And what happened to Ahmad Deedat? He was a big time Muslim debater. You know how he died? He died speechless. You can go on YouTube right now and see the video with him in the hospital. He died and his voice was taken away from him. And that's a sign from God. What you just saw, let me rewind it back. He was talking about Jesus. We didn't watch this. And then his microphone goes mute at that exact moment. That's a sign. Watch this.
Yeah, the God's honest truth. We want you to make it to paradise, and we know you're not making it there yet. We know it. You think you are. You believe a false doctrine.
As soon as he said false doctrine, he went mute.
Somehow you got muted, Sanford.
You hear, Kenny? Somehow you got muted, Sanford. That was God. That was God. Sanford does not control the mute button. Did y'all see that? Let's show that again. Wow. Let's show that again. Let's show that again.
Suspicious. You are the one that's being suspicious. You came here with suspicion. What are you talking about, man? You came here suspicious. You came here to disrupt. Believe it or not, I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. We want you to make it to paradise, and we know you're not making it there yet. We know it. You think you are. You believe a false doctrine.
Somehow you got muted, Sanford. Sanford, unmute yourself.
You're on mute. Sanford, you're on mute.
Yeah,
unmute yourself.
It went mute. You just muted somehow out of the blue.
You see that? It just muted somehow out of the blue. I'm going to have to edit this and make a special video just for that portion right now, right there. And what he did, he said he knows that I'm not going to go to paradise. And what he just did is a disgraceful thing because his prophet said, and I'm about to get them busted again. His prophet said, you are not supposed to say something about a thing. No, it was Ibn Abbas. And this is in our hadith. And let me show you. Man, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This one for the books right here. Read. Ibn Abbas said, none of you should say about a thing which he does not know. Allah knows it. When Allah may know that it is other than what he said I wouldn't go into paradise. It says when Allah may know that it is other than what he said, and thus he tries to teach Allah what he does not know. That is something terrible in Allah's sight. That man does not know where I'm going in the afterlife. So what he did was something terrible in Allah's sight. Busted again. Busted again.
Did I leave off?
There you go. There you go.
What did I say? What did you hear last?
Say inshallah.
What I'm saying
You heard me. I say he forgot to say inshallah.
is I got a pretty wide angle view of the whole situation, having been Jewish and Christian and now Muslim. And what I'm seeing, Jacob, is it is truly all one story. Why would the whole Torah be focused on monotheism? And then and then God sends a prophet to say, I'm going to sit on the throne. I'm going to be next to God. You're going to worship me too. He never said it. He never. Show me in the Bible where he says, worship me. Look at the Lord's Prayer. People asked him how to pray. But I'm changing the subject. I'm not trying to argue the polemics of your religion. That's another conversation. What I'm telling you is, as a father and a grandfather, I have no malice in my heart towards you. That you came here with the thing you're accusing Kenny of, and you're not showing your face, and you're saying he's afraid. Look at yourself. Take a walk around Jacob, man. You're telling us the story of your life, not our life. You're telling us what's in your heart. Out of the mouth comes the issues of your heart. And you said suspicion, and you said fear, and all that. That's what's in your heart, brother.
This guy, man, what in the world is he talking about? Have you all noticed they have yet to refute anything that I said? They didn't refute anything. This is what the Muslims do. Straw man arguments, talking about a bunch of nothing, not touching on anything that I said, lying like we saw Kenny Bomer get caught lying, red-handed. It's recorded. They were smashed to the glory of God. They were smashed.
And I'm not saying this to hurt you or to put you down or to win an argument. I'm telling you this in unconditional love. And because I'm not going to use the word brotherly because I don't want to offend you. But I'm doing this in unconditional love. Like a grandfather. Everything you accuse him of is exactly what you're doing. You're not showing your face. You're suspicious of us. You came here suspicious of us. You're crashing the party. That's not what Christians do.
All right, can I speak now?
It's an expression. I didn't mean.
Can I speak now? Can I speak now?
Now, here go the bomb I'm about to drop. Here go the bomb. Clean out your earwax. I need y'all to listen to this. Here go the bomb I'm about to drop.
What I want to say, I want Kenny to show me the same fair respect like he just showed Sanford Pass.
If
now,
you say anything about Muhammad, peace be upon him, that's not going to happen. If you
when I first came in the show,
you get all kinds
of something. And I noticed something.
If I was like this,
listen, if you can talk respectfully, then you can have all the time you want. But if you say any derogatory comment about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or Allah, or any of these brothers on this panel, you got to go.
Okay, let me speak. Okay. So basically, Kenny, what you're telling me is you don't want me to say anything that gets you confounded. Basically, is that what you're saying?
What I want you
to how are we going to have a conversation if you're going to police the conversation? Sanford. Hello?
Sanford was talking to you. Talk to Sanford.
Yeah.
Right, Sanford.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you. Now, when I first came into this show, see, you are new on this panel. Out of all of the Christians that come on this show, well, I'm not going to even go there. But anyway, when I first came into the show tonight, I was about to say something about the subject matter, and Kenny muted me. So basically, this is rigged. Because if I say anything and Kenny starts noticing...
No, you've lied. No, I did not mute you.
Kenny doesn't mute people for nothing.
I did not mute you until...
Kenny's lying again. He said he didn't mute me when I first entered the show. Only thing you have to do is go back to part 1 and you will see that Kenny muted me not even around 5 or 10 seconds when I first opened my mouth, when I was first introduced into the panel. So Kenny is lying again. He's a liar, a professional liar, just like his prophet.
You started running your mouth. Then I gave you the what? Okay.
Let me say what I was going to
No, I didn't have you muted. I said time and time again that I'm trying to give you an opportunity to do what? To answer the question I originally asked you. The question I originally asked you was regarding the topic of time. They were trying to guide people to endure the test that they endure in life, to remember our Creator and your Creator, and how are you utilizing your time in order to guide people to remembering our Creator. And you ruined it.
And I wanted to make a comment.
And you
I
ruined
wanted to
it.
make a comment. Like right now, like Kenny, it's like this, Kenny. If you keep cutting me off when I'm talking to somebody else,
Kenny, your petty games.
Kenny, how about this? Me and you set up. Kenny, how about this? Since when I saw the other people, you got to keep muting. How about me and you set up a one-on-one debate right now?
How about this? How about you earn the right and the privilege to debate me? For one, you're not qualified to debate me, son.
I'm not qualified.
No, you're not qualified in your demeanor, nor are you qualified.
I'm not qualified to debate you, but I've gotten you busted, not only in this show, but numerous times. But I'm not qualified to debate you. Who are you, Kenny Bomer? Your channel is not even as big as mine. You got a small channel just like I got a small channel. Who are you? You are nobody, Kenny Bomer. You don't speak Arabic. You're nothing, man.
In your knowledge, I
Please.
assure you.
So can I talk to Sam?
Let me someone I would waste my time with. You're not someone I would waste my time with because you're not qualified. You're not qualified for a number of reasons. Because I find your attitude foul and it's like a cesspool.
Sample, I want to address you.
I'm not going to interrupt Kenny. I'm not going to interrupt my brother. You're interrupting him. No. You got to wait till he's done talking. I'm ready to talk now. Wait a minute, Jacob.
I'm ready to talk now.
Jacob, I have to do this with my 4-year-old grandson. Come on, give me a break. I just act like at your age, will you? At your age, young man.
What can I get? Let me ask you
what religion you are. You know what? The manners are really a big deal on the Day of Judgment. The manners are a really big deal on the Day of Judgment. God gives manners a huge deal. You know why? Without manners, there's no communication, and you're proving it because you're.
Let me say something.
No, and why would I debate someone who doesn't even show their face?
Yeah.
Let me say something.
It allows you the opportunity to say anything and everything.